Hello my friends, welcome to Prime Strings. I'm Henriette and today we are playing TipToe Boo from the Fiddle Time Joggers book. Now let me play it for you first. This is a typical Halloween song, isn't it? You can play it and have fun with it any time of year, but it is a lovely song to play. What is this song about? We're practicing a couple of things here. First of all, you've perhaps noticed that I was playing at the lower half of the bow. So my notes go up to the middle and back. And sometimes when I've got only 3 beats in a bar, I retake the bow. So I reset the bow back at the heel again so that I can start the next bar back at the heel of the bow. So if you have a look at bar 2, for instance, I'll show you what I mean. So I've ended up playing in the middle of the bow, and during that rest I'll just retake the bow and go down bow on the next bar again. So that's called retaking the bow. Now, while you're retaking, you make a little circle with your bow in the air. And I'm going to start my circle already at the end of playing my D. So I'll play you bar 2 again. You see, that's the start of my circle. So that gives me a nice accent on the D. So will you play it with me? We're playing it all the way through from the beginning. And what I'd like you to do, every time the note before a rest, you can lift it up and retake the bow. 1, 2, 3, 4. Do a little circle. And a little circle. Very good. So once you get used to it, it's really easy to retake the bow, isn't it? So now I would like you to think a little bit about how we play the first finger on the G string. First of all, I'd like to think about what that note might be called. We know that the open G string is called G, and the first finger on G is called A. And how does that work? How do I know that? Notes in music have their names according to the alphabet. So you have a note called A, and a note higher than A is called B, and another note higher than that is C, and so on. So you use the alphabet to work out the letter names of your notes. But in music, notes don't go any further along the alphabet until the G. And after G, we'll start again at the top of the alphabet. So if my first note here is called G, the next note up from that G will be called A. And A is the first finger on the G string. And this is a low A. You can have more than one A in your music. We also have played this A. This is the A string, also called A. But this one is a low A. So we've got a high A and a low A. And as you go along, I would like you to gently pick up some note names on the way, because it's quite nice to learn a little bit about music theory as well. So let's now read out the first two bars, and let's read out what the letter names of the notes are called. And we're going from G, A, G, A, G, A, D. That's what it is. Now take a look at bar 11 now. Bar 11 is the third bar of the second line. Have you found it? It starts on a D. So the next note after D is one note higher. You play it with one finger on the D string. So that note will be called E, because E comes after D in the alphabet. So if we now say out loud the letter names of those two bars, bars 11 and 12, we go D, E, D, E, D, E, A. And I think you've now covered all the notes in this whole piece. So you've learnt those very quickly. The first finger on the G string is called A. The first finger on the D string is called E. Lovely stuff. Now, I would like you to play those notes perfectly in tune. So I want you to check over your finger line. We've talked about our finger line a lot of the times in previous lessons. It was this crease, remember, where your finger is attached to your hand. And that finger line should be level with the E string. So that means that this row of knuckles, and that is well worth checking again today, this row of knuckles should be level with the strings. So if you are playing with your hand like that, what you can do is lift up all your fingers so that they stick up higher above the fingerboard. We want all of your fingers to be shown above the fingerboard, you see. So that is my first thing to be able to play in tune, is to have the correct hand position. You know also that your thumb should just loosely be lying there next to the neck of the violin, and then your wrist is straight here. Okay, so I've got a little bit of a claw-like shape for my fingers there. Can you see my fingers are bent and they're hovering above all the strings. Now let's play a G and the first finger on G, and let's listen to the tuning of that note. See if you can get that absolutely perfectly in tune. And every time you hit this first finger on the G string, can you make sure that it sounds exactly like it? So in the whole piece, all of these first fingers on G are going to be exactly the same, namely spot on in tune. The same thing happens when we play on the D string. You want to really start to listen to the tuning of that note. And if it's not quite in tune, would you like to get into a habit of improving that tuning straight away? You have become quite accomplished now in using your first finger. So now we're going for the absolute fine tuning of each of your notes. So if it's not quite in tune yet, give it that little extra push today to make it absolutely perfect. Now, I'm going to play my piece at half pace, and that gives me time to work on that tuning even more. So will you join in with me? And we're going to really listen out for the tuning. So I'm preparing my left hand, finger line, thumb, tennis ball, and I'm hovering my index finger above the G string. Can you see that? After 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Rest. Now listen. Make all your A's exactly the same. Rest. 2, 3, 4. Now listen very carefully. Make it perfect. Rest. Now even better. Come on, give it your best shot now. Rest. 2, 3, and come on, give it your best shot, playing perfectly in tune. Listen carefully. Listen super good today. Rest. Rest. Boo! Well done. Haven't you improved on this piece? I'm absolutely in awe of you for making such good progress. And you've noticed once you start to listen to the tuning of those notes, you will hear very clearly whether that note was perfectly in tune or perhaps slightly off. So make a habit of listening as well as you possibly can. Well done. Very good today. If you've enjoyed this lesson, do please share it with your friends. If you have any questions, do write them in the comment section below. I do get to see these comments and I will respond to you, I promise. I look forward to seeing you again very soon. Goodbye.